watch out for? What do you do when you wash this thing?
It's like a car engine. You got to be careful of wires and that.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of thing.
okay. Well, this is exciting, man. I'll get this thing all tuned up for you and let you know when it's ready.
It should clean up nice.
All right, cool.
I'm excited to see it.
Me too. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun, man. Look at the grease on this thing. Wow. We got a lot to work with here.
We left it dirty for you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the detail. We're gonna clean up this case loader behind me today. This is gonna be a lot of fun because we're gonna do a test. Let's see what the difference is between using heat and not using heat. First thing I'm gonna do is articulate this bucket upwards just a little bit so that I can get at the fittings from a different angle. Let me find something to prop this thing up with. That should hold it up. All right, we got this bucket at a real nice working height now. We're gonna get it clean. Man, look at this stuff. We have got to do some pre-removal on this thing just so it doesn't spray everywhere. Grease like this gets all over everything. A lot of grease. The next thing I want to do is hit this with some of my heavy duty degreaser. I'm going to start it at about maybe 50-50. It'll be strong, but this is a tough job. There's a lot of grease on this thing and I want to make sure we get it all the way. I'm going to do the hot water machine on the left side of this thing and then the cold water machine on the passenger side. I think it'll be a pretty fair test because there's a lot of points like this one right here on these grease fittings and all the joints around everything that are very similar on both sides. So let's fire up the hot water machine. Fuel can kind of sucks, not gonna lie. It's gonna take longer to fuel this up than to wash the whole loader. It's still on empty. The problem with this machine and running it inside is that this burner creates a lot of exhaust fumes. So I'm gonna have to throw this power washer outside. That's the way a lot of people do it. Either that or they run some B vent up and out and through the roof, and however the town likes to see that done. Let's pull this thing outside. This is an important thing here. This is called coil scale, and that will clog a foam cannon immediately. This will build up in the water of any hot water power washer. The coil is made of black pipe. If it sits for more than 1 day, it'll just turn all the water inside of that burner coil to rust. You cannot have the water sit in there without it collecting rust. So you need to make sure that if you're going to use a foam cannon, you run it through first through the rinse side of the lance. Don't hook up a foam cannon until you're past that stage. Oh, this thing's ready to go. do it for the heated side. That came out fantastic. What I'm curious to see is what can the same mix of my heavy duty degreaser 50/50, doing it the same way, same pressure, same gallons per minute, this side but no heat. So here we have the cold water side. I noticed that it actually came surprisingly clean. We did better than I thought we would, but it took a little longer to get there, and I had to use a lot of impact. You know, I had to lean on the power washer a lot more, which would have a little more negative impact on things like paint. You're gonna hit really hard. I feel like using heat is more gentle. It's better to loosen up the grease a little bit, break it down more gently that way. This side was actually a little dirtier than the other side at this point, so I am surprised how much we were able to get done. Just a little bit of chipping on the paint that I got around the edges. Like, I think that might have been yellow before right there. I was in there pretty hard. Here on the steps, I feel like we did pretty well. All the junk is out of there. And I'm actually pretty surprised how clean it is. Like, using heavy duty really strong as a degreaser got pretty much everything off of the paint. I mean, it's looking pretty good. Now there's some spots where the grease didn't come off all the way, where I couldn't get good direct pressure that well. But man, I mean, it's looking pretty good. So this was all packed full of grease in here, and the cold water did a good job. We got pretty much everything out of there. I was surprised. I did not anticipate that. Looking real good. I'm just surprised how clean this is. Normally I would lean on Stars and Stripes to do a good touchless wash, but heavy duty goes a long way, you know, even with cold water. Putting it on good and strong and rinsing really, really well. The rubber looks real nice. Could be a hair better, you know, but then again, I didn't touch this thing for not putting a brush on it or anything. One thing is places like right here, you have a seal that keeps the hydraulic fluid in and the other elements out. You don't want to power wash into that. So that's one thing that I'm very cautious of. I don't want to damage any of the hydraulics, and I don't want to spray pressure directly into those seals. I've never had any bad experiences myself, but I've heard stories, and you don't want to have any bad experiences of your own if you can help it. It's best to learn from other people's mistakes. So let's see how we did on the heated side now. Both these power washers are the same spec as far as the pressure. They're both running 3,000 at 3.5 gallons per minute. Now this side wasn't as dirty right here in the first place, but it was pretty rough. I mean, we had like all kinds of junk built up in here, asphalt and everything. Lots of grease though. Some of this grease was old, man. It was flaking off. It looked like halfway turned back into dirt. Fantastic on the grease removal. I mean, is it cleaner? I don't know. I think it's a hair cleaner for sure. Heat definitely is helpful. I think mostly it just saved me time because we still have some of the same spots. I don't know if you can see it in here, but still have some grease in there. Very hard to see, but on the inside of these plates is the same spot as I missed on the other side. Yeah, you can still see like I've got some grease in there where I didn't get direct pressure still, but man, things looking pretty nice. Definitely gonna want to grease this thing up again, that's for sure. In here, same amount of clean, but I think we got it done quicker. One weird thing that I noticed, the other side, when I was hitting that, I was blasting the grease onto other things. The heat dissolved the grease more, which was kind of helpful. The cold water splattered it more. So I ended up with more of this junk. On the opposite side that I had already cleaned, I ended up getting all these spots of grease all over everything. I've got some more cleanup to do now. Oh yeah, man, this thing's still a mess up here. We gotta get this thing a little bit cleaner. Now I just got grease splattered all over everything. I must have left this thing in some kind of accessory mode or something. This thing is dead as a doornail. I didn't even open the hood on this one yet. Where the heck's the battery on this thing? This would have been helpful. That's the one. I mean, these are definitely big enough, right? Large. I think we're good. All right, well, this is doing its thing. I'm gonna clean the inside of this cap. We got grease and all kinds of junk all over this thing. And this stuff, I don't know what's going on here. This is like super clean here and super not here. I don't think this is from my stuff, but I could be wrong. That could be the workings of heavy duty. So let's make this all look the same. All right, I got the heavy duty in here mixed up pretty strong, man. This is like undiluted right here. So we're gonna see what that'll accomplish. And we're gonna agitate it a little bit. Yep, that did it. Look at that. How about it? Looking better. Even up here. Looking like new. You can see the spot that I didn't hit and how it's still discolored. This stuff cleans good, man. And I didn't use any physical contact on this. I just got the overspray on when I was doing this, the first pass. So the brushing is probably unnecessary, but I don't know, it just seems to be helpful. I mean, it's definitely loosening stuff up, and I'll keep doing that. So now I'm gonna hit the rest of all this stuff up here. Oh, looking better. Man, I think this thing is gonna clean up just fine. what's happening, bud? Oh yeah, yeah, if you could leave that like right inside that showroom right over there. Gotcha. That'd be awesome, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you, you too. I think that thing should start now. Let's try this thing again. Much better angle for me to work on the hydraulics. Yeah, there's that spot I couldn't get before. Plus now I can rinse out the bucket and get some of the grease off of there. There's a good spot that I missed. Now I can get right out underneath this thing. That's gonna be great. Wow, look at this. This is so fresh. Looks like brand new. It's amazing. Heavy duty worked pretty good. I want to bust out my steamer on these switches here because there's a lot of them and I would hate to create electrical problems. So while I wait for my steamer to warm up, I want to just spot treat a few more little greasy places. I'm going to use my wipes for that because those are actually a really good degreaser tool. They're like fine for your hands and tools and stuff like that, but like they do a great job at like breaking down greases. I might even use that on some of these joints up here because I don't want to blow all the grease all over all the nice clean stuff. Yeah, I've got like some pretty substantial grease that I missed right there. These wipes have some delimonene in them, which is a fantastic degreaser. So, pretty nice shortcut for situations like these. And we don't skimp on the juice that goes into these either, so like you can soak down an area and it'll start doing its thing, and then you can come back. A little better. The only problem with these though is they do have like the vitamin B5 and aloe, so they do leave a little bit of residue behind, but that'll come off when I hit this thing with snake oil. I'm gonna use my Foam Pro 12 to spray foam on these switches over here, and then I'm gonna steam them and wipe them around and all that. But this wand is too long. I'm gonna try and figure out a way to make this shorter so I can use it close range. I'm gonna cut this pipe right here. IK makes stainless wands too. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know it's for solvents and stuff, but let's just see if this is cross-compatible. And I think I can roll with that. That's nice. I like stainless steel. This might take a minute, and I might want to use the bigger one. I mean, this is generally more for copper. I should probably just get a big bandsaw out and chop this thing off, man. Endurance, man. I think it's working. This is totally working. It's getting the job done. Boy, that is nice and clean though. Look at that. I don't know, I think this is glued on to the end. I should have double checked that. I think I figured it out. 5/8 socket. It's getting closer. I think there's just some glue holding this thing on or something. Oh yeah. Don't forget this part. Just gonna put this in here. All right. All right, let's see if this thing works. Oh, that's so good. Fire this little shorty up. call this D-Lime 90 Citrus. This is tar and asphalt remover. Pretty expensive though. Doesn't necessarily work any better than diesel, but the state agencies like the use of this more for some reason. I think that only matters if you have to use it out in the field though. Great degreaser, but it's like way too much money. Fantastic asphalt release agent though. I mean, it just works on this stuff. So I mean, it's breaking it down immediately, but really what you want to do is you want to take a torch and a putty knife. We're not like trying to preserve the paint on this thing. All prepped real good. Now's the time when you would break out something like this, just to take it that little bit further. And this is a more sensible usage of something this expensive. Looks like this asphalt's been on here for a long time. The metal's a lot nicer underneath the tar. Same degreaser, heavy duty, is great for removing the oils from the citrus. I mean, it's one way to get it done, you know. I don't know why, I was just kind of curious to see how that would work. It's a nice roof. I think we're in a good spot now with all of the grease, for the most part, wiped off, to now put on the snake oil SiO2 sealant, and that's gonna do a real nice job just coating this thing and helping it stay clean a little longer maybe, we'll see. So the water is gonna hold on to this pretty hard before I put the snake oil on, and then once we put it on here, you'll see it sheet right off. It's gonna be real nice. And that's gonna be a great way to coat this whole thing down, because they use this in the wintertime with plowing and it gets salt all over it. So snake oil should help prevent some corrosion with the salt. All right, so I complicated my installation here. So I've got my stars and stripes normally, that's what's hooked up right now. If I want to put on snake oil and not have to fiddle too much, then all I really have to do is connect to this three-way valve. So I'm hooked up to this side now. And then this one I can select from here. So wherever this little lever is pointed is the direction it's gonna pull from. So it's pretty simple, but it looks kind of confusing. But it's a little nicer than having to fiddle with pulling the tubes in and out of everything. So even though I've coated this thing down with snake oil at this point, which is a touchless, fast SiO2 sealant, there's still a couple spots after you're done where you just kind of want to bust out a little extra, you know, with a microfiber, buff things down a little bit, little touch-up things, and that's what I use Awesome Sauce for. Awesome Sauce is also SiO2, but it goes on much slower. It's just a different process. You know, you spray this on, microfiber it off. Snake oil, you just spray it on and rinse it off with your power washer, and it goes on through a foam cannon. So it's way, way more efficient and time saving to get the whole thing coated. But there's a couple areas, like I feel like the underneath of the roof up top could be a little better. This will help with that. And little areas on the arms of the bucket over here, like I just want to, you know, just give it a little touch up. Like it doesn't really need much, but like I would squirt Awesome Sauce there and then come back with a microfiber just to kind of like, you know, make things real nice. I'm feeling more like that's success right there. Gives the paint a little more depth to shine, but it gives you that chance to come back in and make it look that little bit extra. What is that, you know? Yeah. Definitely missed a couple spots. I'm gonna have to roll these tires so I can get at everything. What do you think? You didn't see it before, did you?
Yeah, it's packed with grease and
yeah.
It came out really good. Let's plug it in later.
We should. What do you think?
Holy mackerel.
I'm pretty happy with it.
It looks brand new.